Greg Gutfeld of Fox News tried to be funny by mocking Bernie Sanders. Take a look.
Businessman who decided to be a politician. Business teaches you to speak your mind. Politics tell you to do the opposite. In business, you sell a product. In politics, you sell yourself. Which is why Bernie Sanders is a good politician. It's all he does. He's been running for office since 1972, affording him the luxury of selling a failed ideology that never requires purchase. Socialism, a harmless thing until it finds real power, then it's deadly. For if he could, Bernie would gladly turn us into Greece, or worse, Venezuela, where toilet paper rolls are emptier than Athens ATMs. This dope once adored the Sandinistas, a toxic bunch of commies. Sanders is so nutty, most kids should be allergic to him. So why does the media overlook this? The press loves the guy because they assume his bad ideas may never see the light of day, but one can dream. He wants to raise the tax rate for top earners to more than 50%, the highest in 30 years, after the worst recovery in history. His goal is not to get America back on its feet, but to put it under for good. He wants free tuition for colleges, a great idea if you think money grows on bongs. He said he'd hire Paul Krugman for his cabinet, which is like hiring Jeffrey Dahmer as your chef. He applauded Greece's no vote, which is like applauding two lovers as they jump off a tall building, which really is socialism, a leap that always ends badly. Inevitably, you just run out of cash, just like you run out of distance between roof and sidewalk.
So now the first thing I want to address is the fact that Greg Gutfeld referred to socialism as a failed ideology. He says that socialism is a harmless thing until it finds real power, then it's deadly. Well, fortunately for you and all of us, Bernie Sanders is a social democrat. He doesn't actually advocate an overthrow of democracy. He wants a social democracy, which is a democratic welfare state that incorporates both capitalist and socialist practices. Now, if you actually were to leave that cave that you live in and look at the rest of the world, you'll see that many democracies around the world have major social democratic parties, such as Germany, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Costa Rica, Chile, Denmark, France, Finland, Israel, New Zealand, Norway, South Korea, and the UK. And I think that Greg Gutfeld would lose his mind even more if he found out how much communist parties exist in Europe. But don't worry, they've actually moderated as well and don't advocate an overthrow of the state. So Greg also says that Bernie would turn us into Greece or Venezuela. Well, no, if you actually listen to what Bernie says, he wants the US to look more like Scandinavia, which would be beneficial for literally everybody who lives in the US, because that is the one region in the world that's really setting the standard for freedom and equality in democracies. So I agree with this, and I would love to look more like Scandinavia. Now, Greg Gutfeld also called Bernie Sanders a dope and says that Bernie Sanders is so nutty, most kids should be allergic to him. Get it? Because some kids are allergic to nuts. Yeah. Not very funny. It's more of a laughing at you and not a laughing with you, Greg. So finally he states, the press loves the guy because they assume his bad ideas will never see the light of day. He wants free tuition for colleges. A great idea if you think money grows on bongs. Get it? Because all college students do is smoke marijuana all day. They never study. They never graduate. So this really made me mad because, yes, Greg Gutfeld, you may think that Bernie Sanders has bad ideas, but it's your party who sent us to war with Iraq, which led to 200,000 people dying, okay? Yet, the Republicans want more wars. They want wars with Syria, wars with Iran, a proxy war with Russia, presumably. So, if you are going to actually critique Bernie Sanders and call his policies bad ideas, then you need some introspection and you need to really look at your own party's ideas. Bernie Sanders wants people to get universal education. He wants them to get health care so that way if they get sick, they don't die. Okay? He wants the rich people in this country to pay their fair share, as they should. He wants free universal health care. He wants to get money out of politics so that way the people in Congress actually represent us and not their corporate donors. He wants to fight climate change so that the one planet that we have that's habitable stays habitable. So, what a loony idea, right? That people should get healthcare if they're sick. So the problem with Greg Gutfeld is that he hasn't looked at public policy opinion. A majority of Americans agree with Bernie Sanders' ideas. For at least 10 of his policy ideas, he has over 50% support. That's not a plurality. That's a majority of Americans, and that includes support among Republicans for some ideas, such as getting money out of politics. So, Greg, you're not funny. So, and as more youth people reach the legal age to vote, you're going to see that your ideology will slowly but surely fade into obscurity, and then we'll see who has the failed ideology. So, question for my viewers, what's your favorite policy proposal by Bernie Sanders? Comment down below. And also, check the description box because you can get a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime and also support the show.